Alright, so I thought I'd just make a video about my reaction to the Pokemon Presents. Because honestly, I completely forgot about the idea of making a live reaction, so my bad. Okay, so the first thing was this Pokemon Concierge thing, which I mean, it looks interesting. It looks, I don't know what to say. It just looks, I'm just not really too interested in it. I haven't watched it. Maybe I'll give it a try. But it does look like it's a very interesting idea. And yeah, of course, the first 4 episodes are already on the channel. So yeah, maybe I will give it a try. But it wasn't exactly my, what I was looking for. Alright, so this Pokemon Go thing, I don't play Pokemon Go too much anymore because I'm having a big issue with Pokecoins, so I have very limited storage. So I'm finding it kind of annoying to try and manage keeping decent Pokemon and also actually playing the game properly without massive hassles. So this doesn't really interest me too much just because I'm not really playing the game much anymore. Although I will say I found it interesting that it says that the Curums will be available. It says that the Curums will be available in raid battles and elsewhere. Does that imply that they can come in the wild, or am I just thinking too hard about it? Maybe it's a raid quest or something. If these are the Pokemon the promo code are gonna allow me to pick from, I'm not too happy because these are just normal starters. I can find them anywhere. But yeah, I mean, it's fair. Not the worst news over here. Moving on. Alright, this was bait. Everyone got baited by this. Shiny Groudon and Kyogre. But I did catch on around now. The background music, it felt too much like Pokemon Masters. And yeah, I mean, everyone gets excited when they see 2 shiny, super rare Pokemon. Right? Now, I stopped playing this game recently enough. But yeah, that's why I get 3,000 gems. That is interesting. That's a free 10 draws. So maybe I'll log in just to collect, log into the game after months just to collect 10 free draws. Now moving on, we have this. I've never played this game before. Not very interested in what this is, what it means. Okay, this is obviously Pokemon Sleep. Again, I haven't played this one. I'm interested in playing, in downloading it at the very least, but I have no idea how it really works. So, I mean, I might as well, maybe I will just download it. But this is interesting, seeing Darkrai and Cresselia inside Pokemon Sleep. Are they going to try and simulate nightmares or something? That'd be fun. Okay, Pokemon Unite. I'm not caught up with any leaks at all, whether it's the Pokemon Trading Card Game or Pokemon Unite. Look at this Suicune. I did know that Suicune was coming out, so despite saying that, I did have some information. Alolan Raichu is exciting, and Alchemy, I have no idea. If it could fit in as a nice supporter type Pokemon, and that's all I can really say. I don't know anything about its performance or anything. Again, not in the leaks. There's not even a release date for Alchemy. Now this one was interesting because I don't know how the Pokemon Unite players will feel about this, but I'm pretty sure this will create a massive change in the macro of the game, which lane you go in. Zapdos being completely different to Rayquaza as well. I feel like Rayquaza, you can play around it a little bit more. If the opponent gets Rayquaza, it's easier to play around it. But with Zapdos, not so much. Because it's just instant scoring, right? It's interesting at the very least. I was shocked when I saw this. A free emblem. Maybe I'll download the game again to get the Suicune emblem. Alright, okay, this is hype. I saw this, and I was like, okay, fine. Again, as I said, I don't have the leak information on any of this. And then you start seeing all of these cards. Arceus. See, I caught on to I saw a few other reactions, and I didn't see people mentioning it much. Maybe it's just because it was obvious, or maybe it was just because it's hard to catch on when everything's flashing at you so quickly. But I saw the Arceus in the description. I was like, wait, Arceus doesn't exist. I just realized we have Dialga and Palkia, but we don't have Arceus. I think we even have a Giratina base card, not an EX, just a normal card. I think, I could be mistaken. But we just do not have an Arceus card despite this being Gen 4. And the second I saw this, I went back and I had to kind of associate all of them. You know, Speed Link, there was Vigor Link, and then Resistance Link or something. And yeah, this is going to be, yeah, that was exciting to have abilities that link to stats like that. Cunning Link, I think, sounds like special attack. Like Nasty Plot, you know, it's a special attack based move. You don't see any of the description over here, which is interesting. what was it? Fabled something as the ability. Fabled Luster. Okay. I'm sure people have already leaked this card, so it's not going to be anything special, but I'm still going to use it. And in fact, I'm only going to do my first PTG video just by using all those Pokemon with the Link abilities and Arceus in the same team, just for fun. It's probably not going to work at all, but you know what? Why not give it a try? All the special effects are going to be fun. Maybe we'll add a Lucario for extra guaranteed damage. And ranked matches, that's extremely exciting. End of March is still some time, a month from now, but I've been waiting for ranked matches forever. I'm definitely going to be making some videos on ranked matches. Normal TCG. The animation for this was very hype. And I don't think anyone realized that this was like Lucario and like standing on the peak of a mountain, you know, like I don't know if it's a Smash Brawl reference or something, but yeah, it seems obvious in retrospect. And honestly, I didn't even register that this is reintroducing Mega EXs to Pokemon TCG. But yeah, that's a very exciting thing. And then I also didn't notice the ridiculous HP of 340. That is insane. That is so high. And I saw that attack as well. 270 damage sounds ridiculous. Let me read that description one more time. Okay, the text is a lot more clear over here, isn't it? Okay, yeah. Aura Jab is attaching 3 fighting energies from your discard pile, which is still fair. It's still fair. It's still a pretty decent effect. I don't know if it's always going to apply though. It's not like getting 3 energies freely, because I mean, maybe there's some cards that help you discard energy randomly, like maybe Ultra Ball, for example. So maybe it would work out pretty decently, Aura Jab. Like, cancel the effect of Ultra Ball by discarding 2 fighting energies, and then you use Aura Jab to recover those fighting energies. That seems like an interesting strategy that could be done. And then Gardevoir just has a broken Psychic that gives 50 damage for each energy, which is insane. And it costs 1 energy only, and then its first attack also synergizes, attaching Psychic energy to the Pokemon. So you can just immediately start off with, like, the third turn you have this thing in, you start off with 150 damage just off the bat, which is insane damage for 1 energy as well. And what makes it even more ridiculous is that it applies for every single Pokemon on your team. So on the bench, if you have some Pokemon with Psychic energy, they count. It's like a universal Psychic, which is insane. But literally, I don't see any drawbacks. These Pokemon, apart from Mega Brave not being able to be done twice, I don't see many drawbacks with these cards. Ridiculous HP, relatively low retreat cost, broken attacks. These are really broken cards. Although there is an evolution cost, Lucario has to evolve 3 times, Gardevoir 4 times, kind of a very long, winded process, from my unprofessional opinion. Mega Evolution is coming, yep. Start off with the amazing, super important news that the Rotom phone cases are being given. Special Rotom phone cases, yep, I'm sure many people care about that. And then we also have this thing. Yeah, the Mighty, what does Mighty mean? I actually don't remember what Mighty means. Is it like extra powers or something? I have no idea. Obviously, they're not going to inflate stats. And also, upon seeing this, I realized that all the pseudos are here, apart from Dragonite. Isn't that very interesting? We have every single pseudo, and Dragonite is just not there. Why is there no Dragonite? Is it maybe just an error, or is there genuinely no Dragonite? Did Dragonite get something special earlier? I don't know. Oh, this was super exciting. The idea of a battle simulator like Pokemon Showdown that you can also play on your phone with. That is, yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to implement Pokemon from Pokemon Home and stuff, and I don't really have a Pokemon Home set up, so I don't know how that's gonna work. But it's a very exciting prospect to have this, and it's got Pokemon from every generation, it seems. Okay, so we have Dondozo and Hisuian Samurott, which are both inside the current generation. But then we also have Aegislash and Mega Charizard. It's not just regular Charizard, which is very interesting. The idea of multiple gimmicks, you know, that's something that you can have all Pokemon in the Natdex format, I believe. So Aegislash isn't something too special, but having Mega and Dynamax in the same thing, interesting thing that I've never seen before, honestly. I don't know what's going to happen to Pokemon Showdown after this as well, considering this basically seems like Pokemon Showdown. But at the same time, the formats, and still there's going to be some speed inside playing with Pokemon Showdown over this simulator. So I don't think Pokemon Showdown is going to just go out of business. But it sounds very interesting. I was extremely excited to see this. Yep, Pokemon Champions. Don't know when that's going to be released. It could be in 3 years for all I know. I remember Pokemon Sleep took a ridiculous amount of time to release. I do want to note as well that it mentions that you won't be limited to using Pokemon you can partner up with in Pokemon Champions, which implies that there are Pokemon which you naturally get in Pokemon Champions that you can use. So that doesn't mean all of your Pokemon are going to be from Pokemon Home and Pokemon Go and stuff. And hopefully that also implies that you can play with decently enough without having to connect. Like, you can at least play the game without having to connect. So maybe a team of 6 to start off or something. Hopefully EVs and IVs and stuff aren't going to have to be much of a concern. I mean, if the Pokemon are coming from if there's some Pokemon coming from Pokemon Champions itself, then surely there's not going to be a massive issue about like trading up the Pokemon in terms of EVs and IVs. I mean, that's something to think about. I don't know how that's going to work. If it's still a massive hassle, then maybe it's not going to be as fun. Maybe it's going to be a massive flop for all I know. But no, I'm very excited about this. Yeah, and then we have this Latin American Spanish language edition thing, which is interesting. Again, I don't speak the language, so can't really relate. Okay, now we have this. Okay, I'm going to go through the points that I think are prominent. First thoughts in terms of graphics, they don't look all too appealing. They just look like normal Pokemon, like even Scarlet and Violet style graphics. It doesn't seem too high quality. Decent enough though. I don't think it's bad. Now the water here was sick. I really like the effects of the water over here. That looked really smooth. But then the sand over here just looked like, oh, okay, that's not really the best look. And now we have the starters. Now I really liked this selection of starters in, because first of all, they picked underdogs all around. Feraligatr is a Pokemon that is a very cool Pokemon that I think, you know, could have some attention, you know. I think it's got some interesting moves. It's got Dragon Dance, it's got Trail Blaze. It's got a very nice ability in Sheer Force for offense overall, but I think it could deserve more attention. I think it's a very nice Pokemon. In fact, all of Gen 2's starters, I think, are pretty, you know, underwhelming. Typhlosion has always had its niche in Scarf Eruption. It's also got its own Hisuian form, so no need for another, you know, regional starter over here. But over here we have Totodile and Chikorita, the other two starters, which again are underwhelming, especially Chikorita being the worst. I'm pretty sure Chikorita is the worst starter of all time. I feel like they need Chikorita, and also a Mega Meganium, double Mega, you know, very exciting prospects over here. It's like getting the Dragonite, you know, the Dragonite. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what they do with Chikorita. Okay, I think there could be an idea for regional forms. I don't know if they're going to do regional forms though, because this game doesn't look like it's more than 50 years in the future. And a random regional form popping up, like in Legends Arceus, the age was old enough for regional forms to, you know, exist. I don't know if canonically it makes sense for these things to have regional forms, but they might. I'm thinking more that they have mega forms. You know, I'm sure they're gonna have mega forms. Mega Meganium is gonna look very cool. I think there's a lot of opportunity for a really sick design. Emboar, again, okay, I didn't even talk about Emboar, I just realized. This thing is also an underdog. Look at the other Unnovan Pokemon. Superior is iconic, you know? And then you have Samurott, which has always been kind of average. Still very cool looking. I think a lot of people like it. It's got some representation in the anime with Ash. And you also have the Hisuian form. Emboar, on the other hand, is like the third firefighting starter in a row. And it's got bad bulk, it's got bad speed. It's not really got too much going for it, you know? And I think it deserves some more attention. Like, everyone likes Blaziken, a lot of people like Infernape. Nobody in the world likes Emboar. And I feel like that's a very sad thing for Emboar. I'm sure there's actually some Emboar lovers, but overall, I've not really heard many people advocating for an Emboar. And I think this is a very good roster of underwhelming Pokemon, underrated even Pokemon, that Pokemon could really shine a light on. And that's why I really like this trio. Now the cherry on the top is that they've broken the tradition of overlapping generations over here. There's 2 Generation 2 starters, and I love that so much. They made us assume that there was a standard, and then they just broke those established expectations. They just threw everything away, just completely bamboozled us. by picking 2 Gen 2 starters, which is absolutely insane. I love that they did that. Now the thing is about the Pokeballs, I'm pretty sure over here, right? I'm pretty sure it zooms in a bit more in Legends Arceus. Now I could be wrong, but it makes it, just on the appearance, it looks a little bit more rigid than the Arceus throwing. But maybe I'm just wrong. I could just be like overlooking into this. It might just be the exact same catch style as Arceus. This is fun, nice, you know, teleportation graphics. The flying, the double jump, whatever it is, that looks really fun. I feel like you could like jump onto other buildings, go to some really fun places with that ability. The rifle looks cool as well. Love the design. This is amazing, this battle mechanic. The idea of moving around and controlling yourself. I'll get more onto that when it actually talks about it, but yeah. Mega Evolution, of course, comes back, expected, but unfortunately we don't see any new ones. Some new characters. AZ coming back in. I have not played the games, so I can't talk about how hype that is or what that really means. I feel like we're gonna have some really cool, sick lore moments with AZ in the hotel. In terms of the naming, like obviously this is the male rifle if you picked a female character, and the female rifle if you picked a male character. Urbane feels a little like urban, right? You know, just this is an urban redevelopment plan or something. Tawny, I don't, off the top, like just based on looking at it, you know, first impressions, I don't really know what that means. Like what kind of inspiration that name has, but Urbane seems obvious. AZ again be the massive Hulk that he's reputed to be. Why is he so massive? He's hunched down so much and he's still like 10 feet tall, man. It's gonna be very exciting to talk to him. Eternal Flowette returns. Forgot to mention earlier as well, that guy has the Baneri, the tie. I don't know if it means too much. It probably is just a cute design, right? It's very interesting though that this guy, the guy on the right, what's his name? I completely forgot his name already. But I think, yeah, it's just a cute design. Maybe it could imply a new Baneri form or something, but probably it's just, you know, red herring, just a cute design. Just shows that this guy's inner nature. Like he's that, you know, the kind of big buff guy with a soft, mellow heart. You know, I feel like they're playing with that trope over here. What's that statue? Is that Cubone? That's not Cubone, that's a what? Am I tripping? What Pokemon is that on the statues? Where is it? This. I don't... That looks like a Cubone with wings. And I can't think of a Dragon-type Pokemon that looks like that. I could just be completely forgetting something extremely obvious, but it looks like the head of a Regidrago just attached to like a Dragonite. This could just be a Dragonite, you know? For all I know, it could just be a Dragon. It looks like a Shroodle even. Shroodle has that kind of head as well, doesn't it? Maybe, yeah, maybe it's just a Dragonite. Maybe I'm thinking too deeply about it. Approaching, it does seem pretty similar to Legends Arceus. Yeah, fine, sure. The register thing, okay, that text looks a little bit boring in terms of the catching text. Like for a futuristic type thing, I was expecting a lot of neon colors and stuff like that, but it just feels pretty, you know, I don't know why it's giving me the vibe of like a post stamp. But I'm not going to complain about that. Right, there's a lot of what I wanted to say earlier. Fairy type, disarming voice, could be... Okay, by the way, that move interface, it looks sick. I love like this design. This is what I wanted. This is what I was expecting when it came to a futuristic design. That's what I meant by like neon colors, you know? Transparent in their own way. The blue, the light blue emphasis. So disarming voice, a lot of people believe that this could be an implication for Chikorita becoming a fairy type. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Now, Chikorita looks like it's going to be an Ampharos-like Pokemon for me. And a typing like that isn't really good defensively, is it? The type in general doesn't really have good representation. We have Tapu Bulu, probably the worst Tapu. And then we have Whimsicott, which is... It's got some resistances, some decent resistances, but it's got a lot of weaknesses. It's got a quad weakness to poison. I don't know if it's going to be good defensively, and if this thing ends up redistributing like an Ampharos, especially in its Mega form, then I don't know if it's going to be a very good Pokemon, unfortunately. Hoping that they redeem Chikorita, you know, is the worst Pokemon, it's the worst starter. I want it to be something a little bit better. I want it to have meaning in life. But if we give it a slow, bulky variant that, you know, maybe has more special attack, But that could be interesting, but if it's a fairy type as well, that's not going to be very good defensively. Will it just be a worse Mega Ampharos? In which case, I mean, that's what it looks like it's going to be for me, just based on first impressions. And that's not a very positive vision. So yeah, I don't know. I hope that chikorita works nicely. Now these battles, they look like they still do use the turn-based system just because of the indicators and the messages popping up on the top right. Use rollout. Then you use water gun and then you're blocked from using all moves. Okay, and then a reload timer. It feels like the moves are going to be kind of like Pokemon Masters DX, just based on my first impressions. I could be completely wrong. But you know, where you have your moves and then they only register when the opponent uses their move first. So there is still a turn-based system in that sense. But the idea of moving around, your Pokemon following you, you like actively playing in this game, and then like protect over here, that's so cool as well, that addition, that I really like that. So I'm not sure how the dodging is going to work, because you can move around and dodge like this rollout over here, but it looks like that water gun was targeting that Tepig, because Tepig was just running forward and the water gun still hit the Tepig. Don't know what that means. Maybe the Tepig was just too slow or too close. Now over here we see Stealth Rock knocking out this Talonflame, which means that this game is going to probably have similar mechanics in terms of move effects to Legends Arceus. In terms of Legends Arceus battle mechanics, I didn't mind them too much, you know, just its own unique battle style. But I think Legends Arceus embraces just opening, exploring the wild, being, you know, a lot more open, a lot more open world feel. That's what that game has. And I think to embrace that, they should have made like a battle mechanism, a battle system where, again, just like this game, you can move, you can impact the battle. It's not very competitive, but it's very fun, it's very enjoyable. Like, by competitive, I mean it's going to be very difficult to implement this as like an official format. But I still think it's going to be a really fun way of making this game play out. This game isn't meant to be competitive in its nature. So yeah, I think the idea of having, you know, like the ability to run around, control, influence the game is going to be a lot more skillful as well, I think. It's going to make battles more than just pressing moves. You know, makes Pokemon feel less like a game, right? You don't have any reaction or anything. You're just pressing buttons. But with this, you are going to have to react. You're going to have to move around. You're going to have to be paying a lot more attention, more focus. And I feel like that'll make this game a lot more immersive overall. So yeah, I have nothing but praise for this dynamic battle style. Yep. Okay, look, see, Onyx ran, but it's still got hit. And then, like, the way it was so slow. Okay, let's see. You use Flamethrower, you try and run, but you look like you dodge it, but at the same time you take damage. Then a reintroduction to Mega Evolution. And that is it, I believe. Now, there's one more thing, and that is this thing over here. This is a promotion match announcement, and then it just shows this. And then there's ominous music in the background. Now I've heard the idea float around that this could just be the introduction of the game. But I don't know if I agree just because there's ominous music in the background. And another thing that I realized upon watching this again is pay attention to the window on the right side. Do you see how it's changed red? It literally has changed color. Why has it changed color? Did the whole screen change color and I just noticed more on the window? Because we're looking at this from the perspective of the player, right? The player is opening their eyes. So either the whole screen turns red, which means your eyes are tinted with red, which is interesting, like something possessing you or something, or like something outside is just massive, bright and red, and that's shining through the window. And I don't know, that seems like a very interesting detail. That could mean something, but again, this is so limited. So there's just this, and then the whole thing ends. You just see this image of the tower, and that's basically all that we get to see. I think this was a very interesting direct. I really was very excited to see a lot of the stuff inside here. I really enjoyed the starters that were revealed. That was extremely hype for me. The Arceus set is extremely hype as well. But yeah, overall, this was in my opinion, it was a hype direct. Very much enjoyed watching it. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. And if you made it this far, thanks for watching.